Want to get rich betting on sports? 99% of people lose because they simply do it wrong. I'm going to teach you the right way. Let's go. So this is the second part of our How to Get Rich Betting on Sports series. And if you missed the first part, click it right there and watch it because we got into some really good stuff. I taught you all about bankroll management, scams to watch out for, and basically how pro bettors make a living betting on sports. They make the sports books their office and they grind away and continue to win at a 55% win rate. I taught you that 52.38% is what you need to break even at minus 110 juice. And if you can hit 55% over the long term, you're doing great. So watch out for those scammers that say they're picking 80% winners over the past year. It simply isn't true. And with all the great stuff that we went over in the last video, we missed a lot. And I wanted to open this one with one of the most important things that separates the pros from the public, and that is closing line value, CLV. Now, pro bettors, all it simply is getting the best of the number, and pro bettors are going to get the best of the number. For instance, on an NFL Sunday, college football lines usually come out around 11 a.m. Circa is usually the first to post in Las Vegas, but lines come out around 11 a.m. As soon as those lines come out, there is a line of people ready with their own numbers that they have personally made, ready to attack the books when they see a number that they think is wrong. Then the sports books adjust, they move their lines, and you get kind of a stagnant line that they're going to use to get 50-50 action on. Well, pro bettors, simply put, they get the best of the numbers. So let's say that the Lakers are playing the Knicks at home and the Lakers open as a 1-point favorite. And then the Lakers get bet because the Sharps like them, and that line gets bet all the way up to 3 or 3.5 or 4. Well, the public is going to continue to bet the Lakers. They don't care what the line is. That's just the way it's going to be. But the difference between the pros and the public is the pros have their number. They're going to get it at -1. Maybe they'll go up all the way to -2. But after that, they're going to stop. They're not going to bet that number. The public will bet any number because they like the team, no matter what it is. And the pros are going to simply lay off that game. And there are times when they will come in on the other side. And if that line gets too high, maybe they come in on the other side and take the Knicks. But that's a whole nother topic. Bottom line is closing line value. The pros get the best of the number. And if you want to be successful, that's what you need to do as well. Before we move on, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. All feedback is welcome. What are your thoughts? I do sell sports betting picks as well, as I'm sure you know from the page. If you are interested in that and you really want to make money and level up your sports betting game, the link is down in the description. And if you want a long-term deal, I hook people up all the time, so get a hold of me. I am also debuting a new show. It'll be called The Weekly Huddle. I'm going to give 5 opinions, hot takes. It's not even going to be sports betting related. I'm just going to give my opinion on 5 of the week's biggest developments in the sports world. So we're going to get that rolling. Let me know if you'd like to see that down in the comments and any particular topics that you would like me to talk about. But definitely comment down below, like the video, and we'll keep rolling. There's a saying in sports betting that squares bet teams and sharps bet numbers. And basically what that means is exactly what I was just talking about, that a square better, simply put, that just means it's a public better. They're going to bet on their team no matter what the line is, and then sharps bet numbers. And sharps usually make their own numbers, and that is creating your own power ratings. And if you want me to do a video on that, drop it down in the comment section below because it involves a lot of math and we don't have time for that in this video. But that's another good point, that pros make their own power ratings and they will adjust those power ratings week to week based on a variety of factors and a team's performance. And when they say that pros bet numbers, it's pretty true, but it's not 100% true because they're betting the number, but they're also betting the team, if that makes sense. All that to say, to summarize it, if you're not super familiar with sports betting, is that pros are going to take a team up to a certain number. Once it gets past that number, they're not going to bet it anymore, which is a good segue into our next point, which is line shopping. Now, you should absolutely have multiple outs. For me in Las Vegas, I have a million different books and there's so many different options. And then you can potentially even go to different books in faraway lands, but you need lots and lots of outs in order to get the best line. How do you do that, Jimmy? How do you get the best line? You have multiple outs. So if you come to Vegas and you have $100 bankroll, theoretically, you should put $10 in 10 different accounts. That's basically what you should do in order to get the best number. Because if you got the Yankees at minus 160, but they're minus 142 down at the South Point, well, you want to do that. And you're thinking, oh, Jimmy, I mean, it's a half point. It's 20 cents on an MLB game. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Believe me, if you want to do this for a living over the long haul, it will make a huge difference. The public really does not understand. We'll use an NFL game, for example, the difference between a half point. So if you get a -3, Cowboys, America's team, right? -3 is a heck of a lot different than -3.5. Pros may like the Cowboys at -3, but they're going to lay off them at -3.5 if the numbers indicate that. Public's going to go ahead and take that. But you can probably find a -3 at a different book, and that's why I say have multiple outs. You should have money in several different accounts, and there's lots of ways to do that no matter where you live. You do not have to live in Vegas. Have lots of outs. That's another good point. So you may be wondering to yourself, well, how do you study? And that gets a little bit complicated because there are so many different ways that professional handicappers do this. You have your analytics guys, your model handicappers who are solely relying on algorithms and their computer. Their laptop's going to spit out a number. If it differentiates from the one the book gives, then they're going to automatically play it. They may not even know very much about sports, but they're going based on analytics and a number singularly. That's all they're doing. Then you have the old school handicappers who are going to dissect all the information they can. They're going to read all the articles and they're going to do it that sort of way. And then you have your eye test handicappers who are watching 40 plus games a week and they're getting a real good feel for the current form, the spots these teams are in, who can play, who can't. And there's a few other variations, but those are the main three, if you can kind of divide them up. And so what kind of handicapper am I? Well, I'm a mixture of all three. I definitely use analytics and models for every single sport. I have my sources and very good numbers. I also run my own power ratings, create my own power ratings. But I'm also a big believer in the eye test. I'm reading as much information as possible. I'm looking at injury reports, but I'm a believer in the eye test as well because it can tell you a team's form and it can show you if you're good. If you really know sports, you can scout, if you will, and see how good a team really is. So a mixture of the eye test and analytics and studying for me, all three of them. But that's really how you study. And we're going to get into my final point here, which is if you want to be a professional sports bettor, you have to treat it like a business. Make sure you really want to do this. Maybe do it as a hobby for a while before you quit your day job. Number one, you need about a year minimum sample size worth of success before you know that you can do this full time. Number two, you have to have the bankroll. You're going to need at least, you're going to need a big number for a bankroll because remember, you're only betting 2 to 3%. I explained that in part one. And the other thing is it looks super glamorous, but sports betting is really a grind. There are bad beats that you have to go through. There are all kinds of rough days. You're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have losing weeks. And the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to do this full time? Because this is a 24/7, 365 day a year job. Do you have a wife? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a family? Any kids? Because your time is going to be very limited between watching games, handicapping, staying on top of the news, and gaining the edge that you need to beat the books. It's really a 24/7, 365 gig, not as glamorous as everyone makes it seem. Now, I'm not putting it down. I love my job. I think I have the best job in the world, and helping other people make money is just the cherry on top. But I'm just hitting you guys with a reality check. Treat it like a business. This will be a 12-hour a day, 7-day a week thing. You have to stay on top of everything. So make sure that you are ready to give it your all. If you use all of the points that I gave both in part one and in this video, you are well on your way to becoming a professional sports bettor and doing this for a living. Hit the like button once again. Drop a comment. Help out the channel. We appreciate all the new and current subscribers and the people that we are helping make money. Best of luck on your journey. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.